Hey everyone, I'm Cece. Thanks for tuning in today. It is late July, almost August. It's about 91 degrees today. So wanted to just have a quick conversation, maybe not so quick, but a conversation about being a middle-aged hiker. I didn't start until I was about 45. And I just wanted to talk about what led me to that. Because what I find as you get older, the more people you listen to, the more you realize everyone has some sort of struggle or some sort of process that they've gone through. And it's just amazing to me, the resilience of humans in general. Let's take it way back. So I was born and raised in Massachusetts, and rural Massachusetts. And in rural Massachusetts, there's a lot of opportunities for hiking and outdoor fun, lots of things to see, places to go outside. But I was never one of those people that wanted to. My classmates would go camping often, and I'm just like, ooh, bugs, mosquitoes. I would never want to do that, number one. And number two, my mother wasn't that type to be out in the wilderness. So I just didn't do it. And as I grew up, especially when I went off to college, I realized the importance of fitness and the importance of just being healthier in general. So in my early 20s, started working out a lot and doing a lot of walks and just trying to hit it hard just to look better. That was the focus, to look better, because I've always been overweight. That worked for a little while. I was never really consistent. Life happens, right? Was never really consistent, kind of here and there. And then in my mid-20s, well, I was 28 when I had my daughter. And, life completely changes after that. I was doing the whole single mom thing and trying to enhance and create her life. As you know, as parents, that's kind of the goal. When you have the children, you want to make sure that you give them what you couldn't have. That was my focus. And I would say from the time I had my daughter at 28 until she was about 10, I did almost no exercise. Now, mind you, we're very nomadic. So I've lived in other places like California, and California just had gorgeous views. I had friends that would go hiking, and again, just wasn't interested. I was like, oh, it's hot. So I moved to another state in an effort to kind of create a relationship. But in creating that relationship, it was very apparent early on that I was, how do they say, trying to stick a round peg into a square hole. It just wasn't gonna work. And created a lot of trauma and what have you. But all those things were my decision to even be a part of. A lot of times in life, our issues come from us. It's another thing you realize when you get older. And it prevents you from playing the blame game once you realize that it's really you that has the power over your existence. There are external factors, but ultimately you have the power. Left that situation, moved to Texas. So I am in Texas. And by the way, I'm on a local trail. This is a 2.2 mile trail. And it's a roundabout trail right near a medical center, if anyone's familiar, in San Antonio, Texas. Back to what I was saying. So once I moved to Texas, had a couple of goals. pretty big life goals that I wanted to meet. But one of those goals was to get back into the fitness aspect of things. Not just to lose weight, but to be healthier in general. Getting older, you wake up in the morning, your joints are hurting, trying to figure out why everything feels a little off kilter, takes you a few hours to warm up in the morning. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm not going down like this. I'm definitely gonna fight for my freedom to be mobile. And I knew that exercise was a part of that. So, not knowing anyone here, the apartment complex that I stayed in was in a community full of trails. And I would just think to myself, why would people just be out here on these trails like this? It's so dangerous. And in particular, there was a trail that was right next to an elementary school. And the kids would get out of school and take these trails home through the neighborhood. Again, being a mom, you're clutching your pearls. Oh my gosh, I would never. But I soon realized that this is a very hiker-friendly city and commonplace for people to be out and about. But that still didn't sway me. I still was very cautious. So what I did was I started out hiking in my apartment complex at night, because we all know how it can get in Texas. So I'd hike at night around the complex. It was about a mile. And it was pretty hilly. So I'd have to kind of struggle up and down the hills. Sometimes I'd take the dog with me. Every once in a while, my daughter would want to go, but walking and hiking was really not her thing. So it was really on me to get up and do it every night. And the dog helped. For those of you that have pets, you have to get out with them. I mean, you can always let them out the back door, I guess, to go potty, but that wasn't my situation. So he also inspired me to get out and walk around with him in the evening. So you get tired of that after a while, right? Same complex, same people. And I'm like, I'm wondering if I should venture out on some of these trails. So I started doing some research. And the first thing that I did was I downloaded the All Trails app, which is a free app, by the way. All Trails, as soon as you pull it up, once it knows your location, it gives you all the local trails in your area, along with reviews of how the trail is and what people think. Pictures, maps, all kinds of good stuff. Everything that I needed to feel confident. So the first time I hiked outside of my apartment complex, I was looking for a group of hikers because, again, I was scared. So I'm looking for a group of hikers, and I found a plus-size hiking group and met them at one of the parks here in San Antonio, because I'm thinking to myself, oh, plus-size women hiking around, this is going to be so easy. But that was not the case at all. They blew me out of the water and made me realize even more how out of shape I was. So instead of holding the group back and trying to keep going out with them, that kind of led me into venturing out on my own. So I started venturing out on these trails. And at first, they were the trails in the local neighborhood that I told you about. But then I started expanding and going to other trails in nearby cities, other sides of town. And before I knew it, I had to go hike. I had to strap up my shoes, even when I was tired on a weekend from working. I had a very strenuous type of job, mentally draining. I would go and strap up my shoes and head out to the trails. And I look forward to it. I couldn't even rest a lot of times until I got out there and hit the pavement. So what I started noticing, in addition to me wanting to really do this, genuinely loving it, it started to clear my head. So right now, if I didn't have you guys pulled up, I'd probably be talking to myself, just trying to think of a master plan, because we're always a work in progress. That's just part of living. We're always trying to be better, right? Talking to the Most High, and I spent a lot more time being grateful. I mean, truly grateful. I mean, we all have issues and have a story to tell, and we all have scars from this life that we live. But it's a journey, and it's a beautiful journey. And I think it's more beautiful as I've gotten older, because for the most part, I don't think I'd go back. Maybe for a few occasions. But I've never been happier in my life. I've never been so filled with gratitude ever. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful that I found this. Now, in hindsight, of course, I wish I should have or could have made a commitment to do this very early on in life, because I feel as though this is such a healing process that it could have helped me get through some of the bumps a little easier. But that's not the case, and at least we're here now. So a few weeks ago, I was on my favorite trail. I'm talking about favorite trail, like I dream about it. And when the green is just so green and the flower colors just pop so nicely. So I'm going through this green tunnel, and everything was so flipping beautiful to me. It was like I was walking in a dream, and I shed some tears. Now, I know you guys don't know me, but that's pretty significant, because I do not classify myself as an emotional person. I'm not emotionless, but it's very hard to evoke emotion out of me. And that's been another benefit of being out here on these trails, is that when you start to connect with nature, it just makes you so much more vulnerable, I guess, is the word I'm looking for, because that's what it feels like to me. Vulnerable in a safe space. And it's just amazing. I hope I've encouraged you middle-agers and beyond to get out there. I don't care what you look like. You can be 500 pounds. I don't care. You can put your sneakers on and walk just a little bit. And if you just do it for some time, it will become so commonplace for you. I can't guarantee that you'll lose a bunch of weight, because I haven't. And again, that wasn't my goal. My mental health has become a lot more important to me than how I look physically. Of course, I try my best to eat well, and I'm out here exercising. But what this does for your mental health is something that I can't even put into words. And I want you middle-agers and beyond to get out there. Like, just do it. Like, get off the couch, put the phones down, just get out there and do it. I promise you will not regret it. You can start out slow, try a couple of different parks and places that you like, but just do it. I promise it will change your life.